Hey YouTube Nation, thanks for tuning in again. We sure appreciate all the subscribers. We're up to almost 50 now. When we get to 100, I'll give away a TPO, Texaspreneur Outdoors t-shirt. We'll be having that up on Instagram here soon, so you kind of get an idea what that looks like. We just come to you today from my living room. I wanted to kind of just touch base and let everybody know how we did through the storm of this past week, the winter storm here in Texas, especially in an RV. Kind of what we did to prepare, a little bit of luck, and then how we fared through. So, as most of you know, this week Texas was pummeled by the most severe winter storm. A lot of people were saying in history, especially recorded history, certainly in my lifetime, in my 42 years here in Texas. So with that being said, you know, any of you know that follow this video, or most of you should know, that we live in a fifth wheel, and have had for 10 months. So and really we kind of lucked out a little bit, I think, because we're currently faring a lot better than a lot of people and throughout Texas and the Midwest, and sure blessed for that. Monday night, so let me back up. So what we did, knowing that the storm was coming, to prepare for that storm, was I purged the system as best I could. What I did is I just turned the water off. Of course, I drained the water out of all the lines. Then I kicked on the pump, the internal water pump, and pumped it dry as well, to where I felt pretty confident knowing that it probably wasn't as completely dry as it would have been had I blown out the lines with my air compressor. But I knew there would be very, very little water left after purging the system best I could. I knew water would be an issue, obviously, because anytime it dips down into the single-digit temperature, you're going to have freezing issues, pipes and things like that. So I knew water would be an issue. Didn't know for how long, but I knew it would. So I took my two Igloo 5-gallon water cans and filled them up with fresh water prior to the water going out at the faucet. So at least we would have 10 gallons of fresh water, and then one pack, a 32 pack of bottled water. So sure enough, the first night, it got down to about 25 to 28 degrees, kind of depending on, we live right against the water, so it's a hair cooler here than what it records, kind of like lake, being in a lake, you know. So we'll go mid-20s that first night. And we really had no issue at all, of course, with handling water. But as far as warmth in the camper, this is a 4-season big country, it really did well. I could feel a few little drafts here and there from the slides, so I just kind of put some towels down, shoved them into some creases just to try to help the little bit of wind. We don't have any leak in the water, I guess because of the way the water runs down, rather than the wind blowing in. But we did have a little bit of draft, so I tried to cover those up as best as possible. But really that first night, it was normal. We didn't lose power at all. It was just a little chilly, but not bad. The fireplace that came with the camper and our little space heater did the job, more than we could have asked for. We were warm the entire night, shy of a small throw blanket that we just kind of lounged around in. That's all we needed, and we went to bed and slept normally and slept all night, and woke up and it was cozy with the little space heater. I mean, it did a really good job. And this is a big fifth wheel. This is a 38-foot fifth wheel. And so Monday morning, we got up and the precipitation started coming down, but we went to work. Anyways, it wasn't too terrible. We only stayed till about 1 because all our other stores throughout the Midwest were shut down. They had already gotten the storm, and they were completely shut down. So we were kind of sitting there not having a whole lot to do, really. And the conditions were getting worse, so we went ahead and called it and came home at 1, anticipating Monday night was going to be the worst, and Tuesday morning was the worst cold part of it, and sure enough it was. So we came home. I tried to kick the furnace on. We bought this camper late spring, early summer last year, so we haven't been through it. This is our first winter in the camper, and so we've never had an issue to turn on the furnace, but we couldn't get it to turn on, gas or electric. So That was a little bit of a bummer. We were kind of thinking, well, worst comes to worst, we will kick the furnace on, but it wouldn't come on. So I kind of went into emergency mode to think what I need to do to make sure me and Jennifer are warm, because these blankets really aren't going to cut it. And then it dawned on me that we just bought a couple of sleeping bags for that trip that you saw here on YouTube for us when we went to Hidden Falls and camping. So light went off. Of course, sleeping bags are the best way to keep warm in chilly situations, because you get a full wrap cocoon around you rather than just having a blanket. And they're just built for that kind of temperature. Blankets are really not. So I grabbed those, got those out. It got, that Monday afternoon, Monday night, it was getting down, into the teens. And it got pretty chilly in here. I would say probably, I didn't have a thermometer inside, but I would guess it was maybe 50 or 55 inside the camper throughout the coldest. But that's really pretty good for a camper, because if it was, 10 to 15 degrees outside, and it was still 55 or 60 inside with just a couple of electric heaters going, the 4-season insulation in this camper did really pretty good. We wrapped up in our sleeping bags and we watched TV. We never lost electricity at one time, so we just kind of chilled out and cuddled up, and that's how we did it. Now, of course, we didn't have any water, and so we went through about 6 gallons of that tin the first night. We probably shouldn't have washed dishes in hindsight, but we did. We went ahead and boiled up some water, washed the dishes, put them away, and then we took a sponge bath in the shower. Basically, again, just warming the water up on the stove. Got a good big pot of it, and we did the best we can. Tuesday came around, and it was the coldest. It was, it was, like I said, I would say 50 degrees in here, probably 55 maybe. And we went through the rest of that water that day. Tuesday, the rest of the fresh water, we took another bath that night, shower. Again, probably shouldn't have done more dishes, but we did. We were trying to stay ahead of the game, but not knowing we didn't have any fresh water. Now, we knew, at least I knew all along, that we have a lake right behind it. I knew if I had to get water, I knew it's right there. We just had to boil it and do what we got to do. So if I wasn't next to a lake, I would not have let Jennifer wash dishes, knowing, because we're out 3 to 5 days, and that's 10 gallons of water is all we got. But knowing that I had the lake kind of behind me as a backup plan, we went ahead and did it. And sure enough, Tuesday coming around, and we were out of water, and Tuesday night, and we still had no water at the park. We never lost electricity, thank God. So both electric heaters stayed running the entire time. We didn't work Tuesday. We just lounged around all day, watched TV, stayed warm. Wednesday, it was almost back to kind of like normal. It was still ice on the ground everywhere. It's still very, very cold. But we went back to work Wednesday, came back Wednesday night, and got some lake water, boiled it, and took another bath / shower Wednesday night with lake water that we used to boil up. And that was really about it. Again, the electricity was never off, so everything just kept running. And the 2 little electric heaters did a phenomenal job keeping us warm enough. Anyways, a lot better than a lot of people that were out power for 200 hours straight. I mean, it's just blows my mind. Some of these people were out power for 4 or 5 days straight. Now, part of the reason we didn't lose, and a lot of people did, is because we were 1 county away from the Texas power grid. We're actually on Louisiana's power grid here. So it's a kind of a blessing that we're here where we're at, and not in the middle like some of the people. God love them. I mean, I feel so bad for them, because they were sitting there trying to go through this with no electricity, and I can't even fathom that for 4 or 5 days. I mean, my heart goes out to you, because I just couldn't fathom it. I mean, we had the generator for backup. We would have survived, but if you didn't have a generator and you didn't have electricity for 5 days in that cold temperatures, I don't know how you would have survived without a fireplace or something. I mean, I know there were some people lost their lives and froze to death, and it breaks my heart. And Thursday during the day, it got up to 40 or 45 during the afternoon. but it was dropping back into the 20s Friday night, Thursday night and Friday night. So Thursday while we were at work, some people here in the park got water back, so the water main basically had defrosted for one side of the park and not the other. And then the park that we live at went into action with some heat up on the main riser. But Thursday, nevertheless, they got water. We finally broke down and went to a friend's house and took an actual hot regular shower and shave Thursday night. And then Friday, again, came back. It got down to 25-ish Thursday night into Friday morning. So still no real water to speak of. But then Friday afternoon, about 3 o'clock, we got the email that water was restored to the rest of the park. But because of so many leaks throughout the Orange County Vidor area, everybody was under a boil watch. You had to boil all your water because there was just so many leaks, and the pressure wasn't anywhere close to where it should have been. But again, because it's leaking everywhere, and people were still trying to figure out what leaks they had, you know, and get those fixed. We hadn't even plumbed in yet. We didn't even plug in our camper until yesterday, Saturday afternoon, because I wanted to make sure that we got through both, of course, the front and the next 2 nights that were dipping down into the 20s. Could I probably have pressurized and made it through those 20s with dripping water? Probably, but I didn't want to take a chance. I didn't want to take a chance at plugging the water in after work on a Thursday afternoon late, and getting water back in the system, and then having a leak and not being able to drip the pipes. So we just chose not to. We stayed one more night without water to be on the safe side, and we plugged in yesterday at 1 o'clock. Fingers crossed. Put the water on, turned it on slowly. Sat there for 15 or 20 minutes just looking, waiting to see dripping on the ground where it was coming out. We have no leaks. We made it through this entire storm without a busted pipe that we know of. We're 2 days into it now and still no leaks. We waited for about an hour and a half to make sure the water had gotten to the water heater, filled up. Gave it about an hour, checked the hot water, came on just like normal. So somehow, by the grace of God, we lived through the first winter of our life in a camper in the worst winter storm Texas has ever seen. We came out perfect. Nothing happened. No water leaks, no cracked pipes, no damage to the camper whatsoever, no damage to the vehicles other than a dead battery, which I charged up and got that running on the Tahoe. Everybody stayed warm, so we are completely, totally blessed. And just very, very lucky that we didn't take any kind of losses, any pipe leaking, any damage, any health issues. I've got lots of friends and family that are still without water to this day, 7 days into this thing, 6 days into this thing, and they're still repairing water to their house. And we just got our boil water alert lifted today about lunch, so we're back to normal. But it was a hell of a week, I promise you that. And my heart goes out to anybody that suffered a loss. You're in my prayers. God bless you. Hopefully things will get turned around for you soon. But that's kind of our story for the week. That's how we made it in our camper, you know. That fireplace saved our tail. The little $25 space heater from Walmart, it worked sometimes too well. Man, I just totally blessed. Just wanted to give you guys an update on that. Anybody that's out there full-time RVing that wants to talk to me, please, by all means. I've been on forums all week trying to help people out. I'll do anything I can to help anybody, anywhere, anytime. Count your blessings. Kiss your loved one. Never in a million years when we were talking about, hey, let's go full-time in an RV, did we think we were going to go through 2 major hurricanes and a freak winter storm in our first year. But here we are. We're back. We're healthy, and we're basically damage free. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and then hit that dingy dong bell. That'll bring you a notification when I put up a video. It'll alert you. We'll try to bring some live footage to you at LST this weekend in Conroe. And be looking forward to that upload. Until next time, we sure appreciate it. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.